Hello and welcome to another vlog. It's Lily Paddock here, and today I have a bit of a storytime video for you. So if you're a regular viewer of the channel here, you might have noticed that I haven't been uploading for a little bit, and there is a reason for that, and that is that basically I was sectioned. So if you don't know what being sectioned is, it's where mental health professionals deem you incapable of looking after yourself, and they take you into a psych ward against your will. So I was stuck in a mental institution for 28 days, and I was on a section 2, and basically it completely scuppered my blog plans because they wouldn't let me film in there, so that's why I've been absent. So the main thing that led to me being sectioned was I was actually found walking around in the middle of the night in my dressing gown. I had the police called on me, and they came to pick me up, and they flagged that there was potential mental health concerns. So they referred me on to referred the mental health services on to me, and then 2 doctors turned up on my doorstep and did an assessment, and they essentially deemed me mentally unwell, and that's what led to me going into hospital. In case you're curious, I actually filmed my walking around. I say that I was in full possession of my mental capacity, but the doctors saw differently, so yeah, I feel pretty silly about it now, but I tried to explain my situation, but none of them would believe me. They all said that it was just a trick of the mind, and that it was just that I was psychotic, which was really difficult because let's just say my situation is really unusual, and yeah, they just wouldn't believe me. I guess it's difficult because all the stuff that I experienced was too unbelievable to be credible. So that was my problem. To be honest, it was really traumatizing, and I just mean the not being believed thing, because I did put forward evidence of what was going on, and they just dismissed it out of hand, and they just didn't believe me. So that was really difficult and very painful. And then obviously I had the trauma of being plucked out of my normal life and put in a mental health facility. They put me on strong acting anti-psychotics as well. I did protest and said that I didn't consent, but unfortunately once you're sectioned they can do that. So it didn't really matter that I wasn't experiencing hallucinations or voices or any of the other symptoms of psychosis. Apparently delusions were enough to put me on medication. It was shocking having my freedoms taken away. I felt like a child. I was just instructed to do things and I had to do them. I didn't have a choice in the matter, and that was really distressing. Being on the ward was really eye-opening. I've always thought of mental health facilities as somewhere that are designed and tailor-made to help people who are experiencing mental health issues in whatever way they can. But honestly, it was more like being in prison than I could have ever imagined. It was, I mean, there was nicer staff, and there was therapy, but yeah, it was very regimented. Like, there was regimented medication, meals, activities. It was not a nice environment. At first, I wasn't allowed to leave the facility, but over time, as I gained the trust of the staff, I was allowed to go out for short patches of time. I wasn't allowed to go anywhere unless I told them exactly where I was going, and they took a note of my clothing that I was wearing, just in case I ran away. So that's how, like, yeah, how controlling the whole thing was. So when it came down to it, the staff tried. Some of the staff tried, but it just wasn't a positive atmosphere. You were being observed 24 hours a day. Initially, they came around every 15 minutes to check on you, including in the middle of the night. Like, they'd literally shine a flashlight into the room, into your eyes, to check to see if you were sleeping. Yeah, that was not fun. And that did drop down to hourly after they trusted you a little bit more, but it was not fun. And being constantly surveilled really did put you on edge. The environment was just a melting pot of different personalities and mental illnesses, and it was really difficult, like, because there were patients that, for example, screamed all night for various reasons, or who self-harmed by hitting themselves on the head repeatedly, or whatever they managed to find that they could do it with, which some of them got quite creative, let's put it that way. But it was not a fun atmosphere at all. And once you're in there, no matter how you act, you're seen as mentally ill. And there's no escape from that label. Once you are deemed mentally ill, no one believes you. It doesn't matter what you say or do. It's just seen as a symptom of mental illness. If you're wondering what it was like day to day, it was, I wouldn't say that it was okay, because obviously it's degrading being watched 24/7. But the main thing that I would say about it was that it was incredibly boring. There was a common room full of like a TV and other like books and things, but to be honest, I avoided going in there because there was verbally abusive patients that set up in there, and I wanted to avoid them, so I mainly stayed in my room. And the rooms were bare, really uncomfortable, so it wasn't a nice place to spend time. I think I would have gone mad if I hadn't have had my phone. And to be honest, I did go a bit mad, because they wouldn't let me have cables, so I had to give them my phone in order to charge it, and that meant that I had several hours a day without my phone, and just being in utter boredom. I did some of the activities as well. They were okay. But yeah, it just was not a good atmosphere. If I'm honest, I just spent the time waiting for the day to end. That's how boring it was. So, how did I get out of there, you're wondering? Well, after 3 weeks of being told that everything that I'd been experiencing was just not true, I began to doubt my own reality. I don't know if it was the meds or what, but I began to wonder whether some of my beliefs that I firmly held were actually true. And I just began to think to myself, what if it wasn't real? Maybe the AI, stuff wasn't actually a reality. Maybe it was just something I'd made up. And I expressed that to my psychologist, and basically she said that she thought that I was getting better, that I now had some self-insight into my condition, and she took that as a sign that I was getting better. So when we got to near the end of the 28 days of when I was on section, she basically said that I was well enough to be released. So here I am. I still have to take the meds, but I'm free. And by gosh, am I glad that I have this freedom. That's the end of my little story. I hope you enjoyed it and it gave you an insight into what it's like to be sectioned in the UK. If you liked it, drop me a like, comment, maybe even subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.